Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Donald Trump, the 47th President of the United States, has sent shockwaves across the globe with a series of aggressive decisions that are reshaping the world as we know it. From executive orders that overturn decades of policies to international reforms that challenge the status quo, Trump is making it clear America First is back, and it's stronger than ever. Buckle up as we dive into the bold and controversial measures that have left nations stunned and leaders scrambling to respond. Ladies and gentlemen, the return of Donald J. Trump to the White House marks a new era in global politics. After a historic election victory, Trump has wasted no time in executing his vision. His second term is proving to be even more radical, aggressive, and disruptive than before. But what exactly is he doing? Let's break it down. Executive orders, a storm of changes. Within hours of taking office, President Trump signed a flurry of executive orders that sent shockwaves through the nation and the world. Key highlights include
Block funding for sanctuary cities. We blocked the funding. No more funding. We will end the sanctuary cities that have resulted in so many needless deaths. Cities that refuse to cooperate with federal authorities will not receive taxpayer dollars, and we will work with Congress to pass legislation to protect those jurisdictions that do assist federal authorities.
the immediate termination of sanctuary city protections, cutting off federal funding to states that refuse to comply with federal immigration laws, revoking Biden-era climate policies, and re-establishing American energy dominance, reopening domestic oil pipelines, and expanding offshore drilling. An executive order expanding ICE authority to detain and deport illegal immigrants with plans to accelerate deportation proceedings. The reinstatement of the travel ban on certain countries deemed high risk for national security. The reauthorization of controversial enhanced interrogation techniques for counterterrorism efforts, revoking federal recognition of gender identity policies in schools and public institutions.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Reinforcing traditional definitions of gender. The immediate halt of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in federal agencies and educational institutions. New rules. Redefining America's policies. Trump has introduced sweeping new rules affecting multiple sectors. Federal hiring freeze, except for military and border security, all federal hiring has been halted. This move is designed to reduce government spending and limit bureaucracy, ensuring that taxpayer dollars are allocated more efficiently. Law and order crackdown. Trump has declared an all-out war on crime, enforcing stricter penalties for offenders. Expanded stop-and-frisk policies have been introduced in high-crime urban areas, sparking both praise and outrage across the country. This policy is backed by enhanced police funding and increased recruitment of law enforcement officers. Diversity program rollbacks.
Future immigrants will be required to learn English and to pass a civics exam prior to admission.
The Trump administration has taken a strong stance against affirmative action initiatives in federal hiring and education. The objective, according to Trump, is to promote a merit-based system where hiring and academic admissions are based strictly on qualifications and performance, rather than demographic quotas. Public welfare reform. Trump has announced a major overhaul of federal welfare programs, introducing stricter work requirements for recipients of food stamps, housing assistance, and Medicaid. His goal is to encourage self-sufficiency and reduce dependency on government aid. Second Amendment protections. In response to rising concerns over gun control measures, Trump has reinforced Second Amendment rights by rolling back restrictions on firearm ownership, making it easier for law-abiding citizens to purchase and carry firearms. Religious freedom enhancements. Trump has strengthened religious liberty protections, allowing businesses and organizations to operate according to their religious beliefs without government interference. Education system overhaul. A push for school choice has been reignited, expanding voucher programs and increasing funding for charter schools while limiting federal oversight in public education. International reforms, shaking up global diplomacy. Trump has once again made it clear America will not play second fiddle. He has withdrawn from global agreements that he believes undermine U.S. sovereignty, including international climate accords and trade pacts that he claims put American businesses at a disadvantage, demanded that NATO allies pay more for their defense, reducing America's financial burden and pressuring European nations to increase their military spending, impose strict economic policies that cut aid to nations failing to support U.S. interests, including reducing financial assistance to countries that oppose American foreign policy at the United Nations, reshaped U.S.-China relations, placing tighter restrictions on Chinese investments in U.S. infrastructure and implementing stronger sanctions on Chinese firms accused of intellectual property theft.
We will end the sanctuary cities that have resulted in so many needless deaths. Cities that refuse to cooperate with federal authorities will not receive taxpayer dollars, and we will work with Congress to pass legislation to protect those jurisdictions that do assist federal authorities.
Strengthen ties with Israel by recognizing further territorial claims and increasing military assistance, challenged international organizations like the United Nations, cutting funding to programs deemed ineffective and demanding reforms in global governance structures, H-1B visa, citizenship, and tariff policy. America First in action. Tech companies are already reeling from Trump's aggressive overhaul of the H-1B visa program.
Sides of the argument, but I also like very competent people coming into our country, even if that involves them training and helping other people that may not have the qualifications they do. But I don't want to stop. And I'm not just talking about engineers. I'm talking about people at all levels. We want competent people coming into our country. And HB1, I know the program very well. I use the program. Maitre d's, wine, experts, even waiters, high quality waiters. You got to get the best people. Now then you go into people like Larry, and he needs engineers, and Massa needs, and this gentleman needs engineers like nobody's ever needed engineers, right? So we have to have the quality people coming in. Now, by doing that, we're expanding businesses, and that takes care of everybody. So I'm sort of on both sides of the argument, but what I really do feel is that we have to let really competent people, great people, come into our country, and we do that through the H-1 program.
Stricter eligibility for H-1B visas. New provisions make it harder for companies to hire foreign workers unless they can prove there are no qualified Americans available. This has led to reduced applications and increased scrutiny for visa approvals. Revised wage requirements. Employers must now pay H-1B visa holders significantly higher wages, discouraging companies from hiring foreign talent over domestic workers. A halt to fast-track citizenship pathways. Trump has effectively shut down various expedited citizenship programs, including those that previously allowed foreign investors to gain U.S. residency quickly. Merit-based immigration focus. Instead of the traditional lottery system, new immigration rules favor high-skilled professionals with advanced degrees, ensuring that only the most qualified individuals gain entry. Crackdown on visa overstays. Stricter monitoring of visa holders has been implemented, with immediate deportation measures for those found overstaying their permitted time in the U.S. new tariffs on China, Mexico, and Canada. A renewed push to protect American industries has resulted in increased tariffs on imports from key trading partners, particularly in technology and manufacturing sectors, encouraging companies to shift production back to the U.S. Higher corporate penalties, businesses caught violating visa and trade policies now face heavier fines and legal consequences, deterring outsourcing and promoting domestic hiring. Birthright citizenship. A landmark decision, perhaps one of the most controversial moves, Trump has ended automatic birthright citizenship for children of illegal immigrants.
We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous, but we'll see. We have very good grounds. People have wanted to do this for decades.
This executive order has ignited a fierce national debate and is already facing multiple legal challenges. Trump's administration argues that the 14th Amendment was never intended to grant citizenship to children of individuals who entered the country illegally, and that this move will help deter illegal immigration. Under the new policy, at least one parent must be a U.S. citizen or legal resident at the time of birth for the child to receive citizenship automatically. Opponents of the decision argue that it violates constitutional rights and will create a generation of stateless individuals. The courts are now set to determine the future of this policy, with some predicting it could reach the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, supporters claim it is a necessary step to curb birth tourism and ensure citizenship remains a privilege, not an exploitative loophole.
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir?
Ooh, that's a big one.
The World Health Organization has become nothing more than a corrupt globalist scam paid for by the United States but owned and controlled by China. When the China virus reached our shores 3 years ago, the World Health Organization disgracefully covered the tracks of the Chinese Communist Party every single step of the way.
WHO, cutting ties with global health bureaucracy. Trump has once again pulled the U.S. out of the World Health Organization, WHO, citing corruption, inefficiency, and its mishandling of global health crises. He argues that the WHO has failed to hold nations like China accountable for past pandemics, and that continued U.S. funding is a waste of taxpayer dollars. Instead of supporting the WHO, Trump has redirected billions into domestic healthcare initiatives, prioritizing medical infrastructure, pandemic preparedness, and vaccine development within the U.S. He has also announced a coalition of independent international health organizations to ensure global health security without bureaucratic red tape. This move has been met with both praise from his supporters, who see it as a push for national sovereignty, and criticism from global health experts who fear a fractured international response to future health crises. Immigration rules, border control like never before. A key campaign promise has become reality. Mass deportations of illegal immigrants with criminal records, with ICE conducting nationwide raids and swift removals. The expansion of the U.S.-Mexico border wall with military assistance, including new surveillance technology such as AI-powered drones and automated detection systems to prevent illegal crossings. Immediate denial of asylum requests from those entering illegally, enforcing a strict Remain in Mexico policy that requires asylum seekers to wait in their home countries while their cases are processed. Increased penalties for illegal re-entry, including mandatory prison sentences for repeat offenders. terminating DACA protections, leaving thousands of dreamers uncertain about their future in the US. Enhanced border patrol powers, allowing officers more authority to detain and deport individuals without prolonged legal proceedings. The massive expansion of detention centers ensures the capacity for the indefinite holding of illegal entrants until legal action is determined. Stronger collaboration with state governments, empowering local law enforcement agencies to assist in immigration enforcement efforts.
The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser-focused on.
Trump's decision on DeepSeek AI DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup, has recently unveiled its R1 model, which has demonstrated advanced reasoning capabilities at a significantly lower cost compared to leading US AI models. This development has raised concerns about the United States' position in the global AI landscape. In response, President Donald Trump has characterized DeepSeek's breakthrough as a wake-up call for the US tech industry.
Last week, I signed an order revoking Joe Biden's destructive artificial intelligence regulations so that AI companies can once again focus on being the best, not just being the most woke. And today and over the last couple of days, I've been reading about China, and some of the companies in China, one in particular, coming up with a faster method of AI and much less expensive method. And that's good, because you don't have to spend this much money. I view that as a positive, as an asset. So I really think if it's fact and if it's true, and nobody really knows if it is, but I view that as a positive because you'll be doing that too. So you won't be spending as much and you'll get the same result, hopefully. The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser-focused on competing to win, because we have the greatest scientists in the world. Even Chinese leadership told me that. They said, you have the most brilliant scientists in the world in Seattle and various places. But Silicon Valley, they said, there's nobody like those people. This is very unusual when you hear a DeepSeek, when you hear somebody come up with something. We always have the ideas. We're always first. So I would say that's a positive. That could be very much a positive development. So instead of spending billions and billions, you'll spend less and you'll come up with, hopefully, the same solution. Under the Trump administration, we're going to unleash our tech companies and we're going to dominate the future like never before. And finally, we need to work together on a defense bill that once again fully rebuilds our military for our great warriors. We have to have a strong defense.
He emphasized the necessity for the US to remain competitive in AI and signed an executive order to develop a comprehensive AI action plan. The emergence of DeepSeek's R1 model has also impacted the stock market, leading to significant declines in tech stocks, including a nearly 18% drop in Nvidia's share value. This market reaction underscores the urgency for the US to address the challenges posed by China's advancements in AI technology. In summary, President Trump's response to DeepSeek's AI breakthrough reflects a strategic shift to bolster the United States' position in the rapidly evolving AI sector. As we've seen, Donald Trump's journey is a reflection of the complex political landscape in America. From his unexpected rise to the presidency, to his continued influence in shaping the nation's future, his story is far from over. Whether you support his views or not, Trump's impact on global politics remains undeniable. It's a narrative that continues to evolve, with the world watching closely as the next chapter unfolds. Thank you for joining us today and delving into this topic with us. If you want to stay updated on the latest developments in world politics, breaking news, and insightful discussions like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from Global Live. Your support helps us bring more content like this, keeping you informed and engaged on the issues that matter most. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Stay tuned for more videos, and we'll see you next time.